I'm Yu-Hsuan. I'm currently working as a user research manager in ASUS. Today, I'm excited to be here sharing with you the user research challenges of our post-COVID world. I'll be talking about how the pandemic has impacted our daily research. I believe you will find some common situations, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts later. As all of us have recently experienced, a world where the only safe place is our homes, forcing us to reduce the frequencies of seeing our families and friends to protect them. And the only method to go out is to wear a mask, a face shield, and maybe even gloves just to make sure we don't get infected with any unwanted virus. Ever since COVID-19 broke out in January 2020, our lives have changed immensely. We can no longer dine at our favorite restaurant or visit our favorite summer vacation spot. So many industries have been impacted by negative sales growth, or worse, bankruptcies. However, the PC industry has been lucky to maintain its solid performance in spite of this difficult time. According to the IDC in 2020, the PC industry outperformed 2019 by 13%. When you take a closer look at it, you can see that its huge growth was driven by an increased need to work or study from home. So, to those of you who have been working or studying from home, I thank you. Before the pandemic, there was a lingering debate claiming that PC might one day be replaced by tablets or smartphones. However, its irreplaceability is self-evident. Whether you are making a spreadsheet, creating a presentation slide, or writing a thesis, the tactile feedback from your keyboard, coupled with a much larger screen size, play an important role in increasing your efficiency. If I had to guess, I would say you are using your laptops to join this virtual event in order to see the slides or the presenters better. In our study, 75% of people stated they have been spending more time on their laptops since the outbreak started. You may agree the device you use most often when joining a video conference, working on your documents, or watching videos is your PC. The pandemic has caused consumers to have different or even higher expectations toward PCs. They expect higher work efficiency, greater virtual communicative engagement, and a more intuitive usage experience. As a result, there is an increased demand from our stakeholders to get more user insights. Our RD wants to know about technical issues that consumers encounter. Our industrial designers want to know about consumers' new usage scenarios. Our product managers want to know the most suitable combination of laptop components. And our marketers want to know the best communication angle. These are just some of the incoming demands that a user research team needs to answer. In this presentation, I'll be sharing the challenges that my team and I have experienced since the outbreak. We will be touching on unexpected research topics, agile team workflows, and innovative research methods. Firstly, I would like to talk about those unexpected research topics. I don't know if any of you are like me, always making plans. My brain is constantly functioning like a little planner. I make a grocery plan, an exercise plan, a reading plan, a movie plan, and you get a point. I cannot think of a single thing that is not plannable. Is that a word, plannable? You know what I mean. However, since COVID-19 just happened, even the best of plans needs to be re-evaluated. COVID-19 forced many people to stay at home, and laptops become one of the only devices to keep them connected with others. Since users were utilizing laptops more than before, we needed to shift our research plans to focus on them. For example, one of the most urgent requirements for many users was a built-in camera. Have you ever noticed the thickness of your laptop bezels? Or have you ever noticed you are looking at your colleagues from a strange angle, maybe like this angle? Pre-COVID, The top bezel of laptop screens were minimized, mostly by sacrificing the camera in the pursuit of aesthetic. Occasionally, cameras were relocated below the screen. However, many users complained about poor viewing angle. So, the camera now is no longer being ignored. Whether we are participating in conference calls or attending online classes, we all need cameras. However, it's not simply a matter of designing one back in. The flexibility of camera angles is also important. This is my friend. He's a junior high school teacher. He used to give lectures in a large lecture hall to hundreds of students. But now, everything has shifted online. In this teaching scenario, he and his students all leave their cameras on to enhance engagement. And now, we arrive at a problem. When giving lectures, my friend uses teaching aids, such as flashcards or building blocks to make learning easier and more interesting to students. With a built-in camera on his laptop, he needs to operate the online platform while finding the optimum angle to display his teaching aids. Can it be done? If you were him, how would you tackle this issue? Would you use a setup of Legos or Pringles? We've encountered many teachers who have the same challenge: how to free their hands and focus on interacting with students. Teachers have been using an assortment of available objects in their rooms to support their cameras in different positions. And as you may have already noticed in the photos, teachers also use smartphone cameras to present their teaching aids. The conclusion: users are creative. They use whatever they have available to achieve their goals, even if it's not the most convenient way. This observation also reminds us that our user research topics should not be limited to the laptop itself. Cross-device usage should also be considered. Now, let's talk about students' learning situation. This is an image I got from UNICEF. This kid is taking a gym class using Zoom. You can see his laptop has been placed a bit far and the screen is tilted down so that his teacher can see his movement. Doesn't this setup look awkward? The student obviously cannot see his teacher very well, and the camera's limited field of view does not allow the teacher to see everything that the student is doing. So, how can we improve the built-in camera is a topic that has never been stressed as much as it is now. Another example of an unexpected research topic is the increase in the number of creators. When I say creator, what image pop up in your mind? Was it of someone holding a color pencil designing artistic posters? Or was it of someone wearing an oversized headset putting beats down? Those are the classic image of creators. However, the recent stay-at-home situation has given people opportunity to explore things they have never tried before. Cooking, doing meditation, editing videos and photos, or launching their own YouTube channel. Our study found that 54% of consumers started doing photo editing and uploading because of the outbreak. Their motivations range from simply killing time to making more money. Many of the people who lost their job because of the pandemic took the opportunity to build their own brands using their professional skills, launching a new career in beauty, home DIY, and even gaming. Starting out, consumers usually use devices they already have: a home laptop, a mouse, and maybe an external monitor. Only after they create content do they realize their current equipment is not powerful enough or suitable enough to complete certain tasks because of inadequate storage or insufficient ambient lighting or substandard recording quality. This is one of our interviewees, Can you guess what she was doing? Looks a bit funny, right? She was actually recording a podcast. To reduce the amount of echo and get the best result, she had no choice but to cover herself with a blanket. Here is another example. From these two images, can you guess what the setting is for? The devices you see in both photos include multiple screens, a microphone, and a control panel. Both photos show setups for game streamers. In the past, we could never imagine that people would want to watch others playing video games. But now, with the increased popularity of streaming platforms like Twitch or YouTube, you see more and more people doing it. They want to showcase what they play and how they play. It's a way to stay connected with a gaming community and to be seen. As you may have noticed, these two streamers decorated their rooms very differently. They want to give off a particular image to their viewers. So, this is where we, as user researcher, need to step in and pinpoint the trends in terms of the functional needs and emotional needs to help our stakeholders improve the product development. COVID-19 has immensely changed human behavior. Therefore, the role of user researcher has become even more important. As you may know, I'm a huge fan of making plans. Unfortunately, during this period, we have learned that even with the best made plans, we still need to maintain our flexibility and prioritize urgent topics to facilitate the product design and strategy. The second point is in regards to our Agile teamwork flow. When you think of ASUS, you might think of laptops, motherboards, smartphones, display monitors, or even our robots. You might notice that they are all hardware products. This means that in a world where physical contact is considered dangerous, conducting user research becomes tricky. For hardware usability tests, it is vital to let users touch and feel our products. From the tactile feedback of keyboards to the ease of opening a laptop with one hand. So, how do we adjust our workflow to minimize physical contact between colleagues and interviewees? This is our latest innovation dial. It is a circular joystick next to the trackpad. This feature was designed for creators to improve work efficiency. And here's how it is used. It can be used to search through video footage frame by frame or adjust the brightness level. In this socially distant world, how do we conduct usability tests? Can we send this prototype to the target audience? Unfortunately, we cannot do that. Not just because a prototype is expensive, but also because of the confidentiality concerns. Since this product had not been launched at the moment, we couldn't risk any leaks. But again, isn't the basis of usability tests to let users try it out by themselves? It's a bit troublesome, isn't it? As a result, we had to change our research execution flow. Pre-COVID, when everyone still went to the office, we would walk to our product manager's office and collect the prototype. Then we would carry the prototype with us to the interview venue. Post-COVID, our product managers now send the model directly to the interview venue. Then the interviewee and the researcher would meet on different sides of the transparent protective panel, both wearing masks. The researcher only has a few hours to play with the model before the interviewee gets to. This may not be the best arrangement, but we had to give it a try. An alternative workaround would be a truly remote research method. This brings us to the last challenge, innovative research methods. Before the pandemic, we used to travel from Taiwan to Southeast Asia, North America, Europe to better understand our users. Unfortunately, we now can no longer do that. we are now forced to undergo a digital transformation at a lightning speed. It feels like our work style has been propelled 10 years into the future. In short, we need to figure out a way of having zero physical contact when doing user research. We wanted to try out both usability test methods using the same feature for comparison. So we tried it out on our innovative dial concept. We recorded the concept of dial to collect target audience feedback like this. Even though our target audience couldn't touch and feel the prototype, they still provided many valid feedbacks about the concept, which allowed us to perform a timely design adjustment. Since the outbreak, we have been trying different ways to do remote research, and here are two types of remote research I would like to share. The first one is instant messengers. The second one is third-party research platforms. Because the messages are instant, we can closely monitor interviewees' lives. It helps us to get a better understanding of his or her lifestyle and attitude and environment. It helps us to empathize with them while building a friend-like relationship with them. With a third-party research platform, it's more systematic. User data can be collected without the hassle of incentives and NDAs. We can focus instead on the research itself. Usually, we would give interviewees a list of tasks for them to complete throughout their day. Compared to the instant messaging option, we are able to review their answers all at once. Because they are based in their everyday environment, it also helps us to understand them better compared to inviting them to an interview venue. In the beginning, we felt like we were forced to adapt to remote research methods. However, we can now appreciate the benefits of these methods. The first benefit is the valid responses. The respondents feel more comfortable answering questions in a familiar environment, which makes the answers more valid. The second benefit is the empathy process. We can better observe the everyday environment of interviewees, which enables us to put ourselves in their shoes. And the third one is the digitalized research materials. Because all the research materials are digitalized, this allows us to analyze and share them with our internal stakeholders in a timely manner. I subsequently want to emphasize the third point, digitalized research materials. This photo is of our sharing with our stakeholders. We presented user insights with photos and videos to increase their engagement. We think one of the key roles that a user researcher plays in a company is a user advocate. We need to have a greater impact within our organization to remind them what users really want. And now, with all the digitalized research materials, we can easily bring the actual users to our stakeholders. These added dimensions give them a better sense of the context in which our products are used. It helps everyone to give ear to the things users deem important and be more user-centric. Remote research allows us to collect user insights from different angles. I believe a mixed-use research methodology is irreversible. Topics like brand image, software usability tests, or daily usage cases are all good topics for remote research. While topics that require to let users touch and feel seems to be better suited for in-person studies. Like this hinge design. We thought the thinner the hinge is, the higher quality the consumers would appreciate. However, when our target audience saw and played with the prototype, they said our thin hinge looks fragile and they prefer thicker hinge, which looks more durable. Therefore, this kind of small details is hard to be presented by video, and an in-person interview is more suitable. In addition to that, it is still important for researchers to be present and collect thick data for a much better empathy process. After all, every culture has its own unique context, and researchers really need to be immersed to better relate. In light of this, we need to weigh the pros and cons for each research method and find the best combination. COVID-19 has impacted everyone's lives drastically. The greatest thing we have learned is that we need to be adaptive and creative all the time. The huge pandemic-related shift in human behavior caused us to reprioritize our research topics. We cope with the social distancing requirements by changing our research flows and methods to avoid a face-to-face interview whenever possible. The world has never moved as fast as it does now. So we all need to be open to new and every possibilities in order to keep up with our constant changing environment. Only by maintaining our flexibility are we able to continue discovering new insights and make greater impacts. Thank you for joining this session. I'm Yuhsuan, and I will see you soon in the panel discussion.